it. My new map location be the fly on the app.
I need money and company. Nah, baby. I don't need no the company. You can't hang, baby. We don't want you around here. Ice on my neck in this froze. Santa's reindeer. You got bad. It's the same here. Bad company, little bro. You can't hang here. Getting money, so the keep on coming. Phone ringing, so you know the jumping. They looking at me. He owe me some money. Hit him with the the crumping. Whitey playing games. They don't want no problems with me. My got good. You know I brought them. Might not hit a bad. Someone send them. Well, opposition, say move wrong. So I
Dark shades, too much, got the belly see them. Acting brand new like I don't see it when I do. Folks going too close. Give me room, phony folks, play it close, do the most, don't they? Bad company, that's bad for your company. Bad company, that's bad for your company. Bad cow disease, now you in a ton of beef. Tuck underneath my new blue Dunkaroos. Flintstone, bust down, color Murakami. Fruity Pebble, Bezel, Wilma, Betty, Fred, and Barney. Bad from out of town, I think she modeled at McCarmy. Wrist game, Lucky Charmy, told my jeweler leprechaun. I'ma come clean, I got beef. Paranoia got me rolling on my sleeves. Okay, hating cause I'm upping up the fees. Whole team got these on their teeth all day. I got so much beef, I could barely sleep. Paranoia got me losing on my Z's all day. Good Lord, mama.
First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop.
If the squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Yeah. Hey. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. 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 Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big back plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad. Cross move quick like AI. Chain shine bright like daytime. Stack big bread like Little watch out like 2 chains. I done swerved in a new lane. Bang at the grit, do things. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big bag plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big bag plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Yeah, no it ain't. They ain't talking cash, so I did the race. NASCAR with the pace, feed you water on the chain. Get no love where I ain't from. When I'm on the beat, I make it thumb. I need that bread like every crumb. Came up from nothing, made a sum. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. I came up, who I was down with. You change up, stay far from around me. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big bag plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Same squad. Drop top, coupe, dodge, raindrops. Big bag plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Ay.
Hey, what's up, gang? Let me go secure for the game right quick. Hey, what's up, gang? I got it. I think it's my fault. For real. Keep the rest. Hey, I got that check-in to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No car. I want that car. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce. Good drip. But she love you. Don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. I went from filling out kites to putting it in my block. Blue Gucci sweater is drill. Somebody give me a. These ain't like the cops. Gossiping more than a. In jail I had. I make you cut off the. Think that I made it, they can't be my friends, so they wanna be ops. If I see them hating and I'm in that spaceship, I'm dropping the top. Act like my beat ain't no happy belated, I'm counting the guap. Who gave you a voice? Who told you your thoughts count? GPS straight to the money. I put my big homie got.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Cousins now to throw on first down. He's got it completed to Johnson. Still going through. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. First down, here's Cousins. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's what he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Has it left side. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Again, it's Cousins. Is complete. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
Was looking sharp right from the get-go here. Tough division. They needed this kind of a start. But I think this is part of where scripting comes in. We always hear about the scripting of plays, how they're going to be called. Everyone dress rehearses their script, and right now they're following it to a T.
And for that opening drive, so part of the script still to come, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've got a ways to go with that. But you can tell that they worked on the script the entire week in practice, and it's paying off for them.
A gain of 3, second down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Second down, Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Here's Jackson rolling to his right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Now let's go! Green, 39!
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. Incomplete on the deep ball. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Now let's go! Green, 39! Green, 39!
Jackson from the shotgun. Eluding the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, that's certainly... like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have back on their heels.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Pulled in at the 24. Diggs with a good footwork. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points. start out that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Aaron Lynch in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Looking out of the gun, Cousins. They've got a coverage and it's intercepted. Picked by Nick Mikowski. And his guys will sail shot out midfield at the 50-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
Reds up!
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now a play fake here on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Over the dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The tackle made there by Harrison Smith.
Their 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Out of the gun, Trubisky. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Second down, Trubisky. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
go. We're on the ball after this.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. It's a 39-yard attempt right hash. And his kick is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
And now out comes Minnesota. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And now he'll take it and run. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain.
Lynch 50, Lynch 50.
Cousins now on 2nd down. It's complete to LeBron. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They give it off here to the end. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. As we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Down throw for Cousins. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
I think someone's going to get into QB1's ear when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That'd be the second person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted, like you said, to pick on the opening drive. Second drive, not much better. On second down, Cook. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go.
Big run again on 1st down, Cook. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stopped that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He didn't even try to signal. For a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Lucky Sessions. Hey, receiver.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Seventh play in this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Hey, we're good. Black.
Here's Cousins. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. Very good return as he takes us all the way up to the 35-yard line.
You made me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Ben Gideon in on the stop.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. Play action. It's Trubisky. Looking outside, he's got it in. That's Burton. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Trubisky finding the former Eagle Burton for the Chicago first.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of the quarterback on just about every play. That makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, look at that, a diving catch. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. There's the first carry for Drake Cohen. His first carry loses the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. And that one coming on his opening carry of the season. Do you give him a mulligan?
You would like to, but this game counts. If this were preseason, he'd get a mulligan. But this is for real, so not expecting that at all. Got to find a way to take care of it. I'm sure he'll get other opportunities.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Right at the tackle there to Aaron Lynch.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Throwing his Cousins. And this one hauled in. And we'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, we'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. On the ground, Kamara. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good game. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did wanting a quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
Check, 1-6. Stop! 180! Go blue.
Kamara. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On second down, here's Trubisky sliding out of the pocket. Oh, he's got a little dime. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. Again, this is Kamara. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be second and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Again, it's Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Bears on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
18. Red, up. Right 80.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with it.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they pointed out. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. They'll throw again from the end zone. And this throw is going to be incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they look to throw. They'll find Thielen work in the middle. Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards. First down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Out from the shadows of their goal line, here's 1st and 10 from the 11. They're carrying it for the big tight end. And some room for him there as he'll take this out to about the 15. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here we go. Bring the energy.
Play action now. Cousins. He sets the fire deep. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off here to 32.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively, getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where is he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at about the 32. After the interception, here's Trubisky. Over the middle, complete. That's Burton. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. The 10th carry for Kamara. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. Trubisky will throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Brings a lot of confusion, kind of muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Fielded just inside the 20. Here's a jump. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Cousins. Incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now at Soldier Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. They run it again with Cook. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Throwing, Cousins. There's a shot one complete to his target. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going, so you know I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them locked on their heels.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Listen. Gun.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. On third and short, going with their tight end. And he will have the first down at about the 21-yard line. He needed a yard, that's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They pitch it out to Cook. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. The All-Pro in two positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Second down, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll make it third down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Cousins in. He's taken down on their side.
How about that? A dime set on defense. 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them.
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, it's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? This feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice and tense on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
And we'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now Trubisky on first down. Flushed out right. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now second down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
This one is incomplete. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call or get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
On third down, Trubisky. Try to run for this. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to fourth down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And now out comes Minnesota. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick. Other than the extra point. That's it.
On first and 10, Cousins. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up second and 10. A toss to Cook. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they keep handing it to him.
And this is going to be intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. The interception was they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 touchdowns. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing it.
Now a handoff. Here's Camaro. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Let's go. We're on the ball after this.
They run it again with Camaro, and they'll get him down right around the 16. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Thrown down is Trubisky. disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. Trying to pound it in, Kamara. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Clock's under a minute. Still plenty of time, partner. They have all 3 timeouts.
That means they have plenty of options in their play calling and where they target on the field. They can throw it downfield, maybe even in the middle, and use their timeouts.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll get it up the middle. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the 4th.
Well, any thoughts about overtime have ended in this juncture? That touchdown puts them up 6. I would imagine they'll kick the extra point now and rely on their defense.
Their defense, a little bit of time left on the clock here in the 4th, but they've got to feel good now. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-3. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now out comes Minnesota. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go into this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So there's a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Lionel! The hut! Ready! 300!
Back to throw. The Bears get there for the sack. Coming back in there to make the sack on what will be the final act in this ball game. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the Bears, it was a hard-fought game, and they'll exit 1-0 as they win by a touchdown. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC.